Hi, we're back with the sisters. Yay.
Hi.
So today we just thought we would chat with you a little bit. We've gotten a lot of questions from some of our members, so we wanted to address those and just kind of give you insight of what we've done to help us and what might help you.
It's normal to be frustrated, so that's the one thing. It's like, oh gosh, we're on a good roll. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I lost my temper. Called you that name again. You have to lose heart. That's just part of the journey and that's part of life. We never arrive.
Right.
We're not perfect.
Think for yourself.
And not to lose hope or faith or think like, oh my gosh, it's all ruined. Because that's the beautiful part about getting together on a weekly basis, which I love. We have a commitment once a week where we get together either over dinner or coffee or tea, and we go over some of our notes that we've kept track during the week.
This is not just like surfacey talk. This is heart-to-heart conversation where we really dive deep, because we do speak every single day. We spend a lot of time together.
Obviously.
But this once a week little mini session is our heart-to-heart, where we just dive deep into what's working, what's not working, and what we need to improve on. But some of the questions that we received from some of our members, and I'll just go down some of them and then we'll discuss them, is one of them was, how do we keep daily communication open and honest? I look at it like it's a daily podcast, we talk about the highs and lows of our day and our week, and then we, listen to each other and what we had to say, and then obviously we discuss what we think could help.
Sometimes what you're expressing, I get to reiterate and say, well, are you really mad or did I hurt your feelings? So keeping the communication open and honest starts with really identifying what the issue is. And, if there's something that comes up, obviously we deal with it at that time, because you don't want to let feelings fester. You don't want to get in the same old routine and the bad habits of holding a grudge. So it's really, really important to address things right away. But when we meet on a weekly basis, we're taking little notes like, oh, I liked it when you did this, this kind of,
I've gotten incredibly good at it. In fact, sometimes we will literally be in a conversation and I halt it. What's up? I'll just like,
your energy is off.
Yeah, I will just cut the conversation, cut the shit. What's going on? I don't wait and, mope around and wonder what's going on with her.
You've gotten really good with that.
Yeah, I just call it out.
Yeah.
I call it out.
In the past, Maria would just kind of close up. And so in her mind, she'd be processing things and it's all over her face. I mean, it's so obvious. But she'll just be processing. And the thing that really irritates me too, I'll be going, Maria, so what do you think? I mean, is that, and then you're thinking, because that's how you process. So you'll be thinking, I'm like, hello? What? I mean, yes, no, maybe, what? And that's where I'm more aggressive, because I want to pull it out of her.
I am truly thinking. It's
I know,
not
but you
like
could say,
I'm not answering or I'm not acknowledging you. It's like I'm thinking, I'm taking a breath, I'm taking a beat, and then I will speak.
So, and what I've expressed, like, okay, because I want to make sure you heard me, maybe say, okay, give me a minute. I'm thinking, or I'm processing, but not to get any response. Pisses me off.
Yeah. Next question was, what strategies help break the cycle of recurring arguments? Because recurring arguments do happen. We do something fun, and we've been switching roles. Like, for example, a lot of times I think that she is, being so aggressive or like yelling at me. So, for example, I was telling her a story of, it was at the grocery store and I was getting ready to park, and that somebody got that spot before me, and I'm telling the story and she's like, I can't believe it, and I'm like, whoa, like, you're yelling at me, you're mad at me, and she's like, no, I'm not. But
that's how I express myself.
I perceived it that way. So when we switched roles And she was telling the story of the parking lot, and I
Oh my
did.
gosh, Maria! Like, I can't believe it. I went to the grocery store.
Oh my gosh! And so then she was like, "Whoa, wow! Did I really sound like that?" Kind of makes you go, maybe I was being a little forceful, or and now she can understand maybe where I was coming from, instead of just going, "Oh, you're reacting, you're being a baby."
Maybe I had a bad day too. Maybe somebody frustrated me, and then so I take it out, like I'm hearing your story. I'm like, that's it. You know what? These people have got to, really? You're that rude?
Switching roles and me acting like her and her acting like me is actually pretty comical, and it's funny.
Yeah.
And so then it lightens everything up, and it makes you
exaggerating the emotions. Yeah. You're all mad. So exaggerating what took place.
I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I really look like that? Do I really sound like that? And then you just laugh about it, and then you can, replay it again and then discuss it and just go, yeah, maybe I need to tone down a little bit, or I can see how you would feel the way you feel. And the way we feel is not necessarily the way the other person feels, and we need to put ourselves in their place. Our next question is, how do we keep our sisterly bond strong over time?
First thing is to know that it is a process, and it's not, you don't just fast forward going, is this going to work, and how do we sustain this, because it's really frustrating, it's really hard. And in the beginning of doing anything or learning a new habit, it takes time and discipline, not to get ahead of yourself. Once you know, you don't have to be perfect, because I know that a lot of our sisters are like, gosh, we were doing so good for the first 2 weeks, and now it's just ruined, and how are we even going to last this long? And it's like, we get to look at what did we do right and be excited that we're learning something new. And once we learn that, we tackle that, you know what? Next week, there's going to be something else. I don't want you ordering my breakfast, okay? I can do my own ordering,
No, you can't.
I know.
You would love.
And then the next week I'm going to go, oh my gosh, you didn't even order me coffee.
Are you kidding? You get all uptight if I don't bring your coffee in the morning fast enough to you.
That does make me feel loved, because we talk about like what makes you feel loved. Yeah. Because that goes back to the love languages, which we've got that in your course as well. The love languages, like what's important. I could sit here and bring you flowers and you're like, no big deal. I'm going to throw those, like it's not a big deal. But what I know is special to you is making plans and being on time.
I noticed going through this whole process and everything that I am so, like you always say, I'm so much more awake, okay? And so I am looking...
Not woke though, because that's like the...
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I notice things, I look at things, and it's so amazing when you are clear that you can see what people love and like. And like when I got her a few gifts just recently, and not only did I give her a few gifts, but the wrapping paper. The wrapping paper was hummingbirds, because I know she loves hummingbirds. So everything I do is intentional. On purpose, it's on purpose now. And it's so amazing. I do that with friends. And, when you're listening to people and, really connecting, then you get an insight of what they love, what they enjoy.
Because you're present. So that's the number one thing is, are you present? If you are truly present, then you're able to know and listen and get little exciting ideas.
Going back on what you said earlier, that, you take a few steps forward and then you go back, 5 steps, get disappointed. Gosh, everything I've done is just a waste. I was on a good path. And I use the example of when we got baptized, before baptism, I was like so excited and just full of joy and spirit. When I got baptized afterwards, the test went off like alarms, right? And I remember Sarah even saying, don't be weary, surprised if this happens. I'm thinking, no, I'm good. But it did for several months. And I remember crying, thinking, oh my gosh, I was doing so good and now I'm not. And I swore a few times and everything is ruined. Faith is ruined. It's a journey. It's a process.
Right. Knowing that you don't have your stuff perfect, and this is where Sarah was really good. It's not that you've got it all together and you're perfect and then you get baptized and then you're this holy angel, right?
You're living, it's being, okay? And that's the most important thing, is this is the way we're living. So it's not like, okay, we're going to do all of this course stuff and we've got all of our guides and tips and everything. And once that's read and done, we're good. It's a way of life. What should we do when old grievances resurface?
It's going to happen. But this is where we get to really outline, wow, so we're going over the same issue. Why? We didn't get to the root cause. 7 layers deep is really, really powerful because you get to unpack it a little bit more and just really itemize. I thought it was this, but you know what? It's a little bit more than that.
This is where our trigger tracker comes into play. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I get triggered probably every day.
Give an example of what you get triggered.
When you are late. When I get triggered at first and I say, okay, why is she late? And I feel myself getting some anxiety. Then the other flip side of me goes, okay, let's look at this. Could there be a problem? Is she okay? Was there something that unexpectedly happened? Because that does happen.
Every now and then.
Right? And is there a good reason for it? Really don't get triggered.
No, you don't.
I really don't get triggered. I'm like kind of laughing about it. I mean, it's a little tinge there. Try to look at the positive of it. Because it goes back to that old saying that like we look at somebody afar but we really don't know their story. It's easy to judge, and we all do, right? But I've gotten so much.
Judge. We could say we revert and we default back to here she goes again.
Right.
So you've been really good with that.
I just look at people where they're at, and I look at them innocently more so than I ever have before, because everybody has a story.
So
wait, is she gonna brag about me?
No.
Okay, go. The floor is yours.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Okay. I wasn't actually going to brag about you.
Oh, okay.
Until after. So I only have ADHD. It's part of the whole procrastination thing to motivate myself, which isn't a thing, and that's not a good way to motivate yourself. But then it's like, oh my gosh, I got to hurry up, and then and I never expect something to take as long. Like, where are my keys? And then it's like, I'm missing a shoe. But if I was organized like my sister,
you're getting so much better.
I know.
I'm so proud of
you.
And again, like you say to our sisters, that it is a process.
No, like, okay, Lisa, you dropped the ball again because you weren't prepared. Okay, Lisa, because you were too tired last night, you didn't pick out your clothes. And wow, it's garbage day. How did I know? Well, I should prepare that it's garbage day and they're blocking me to get out. So, I mean, I'm calculating. Man, I got my GPS on and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm another 2 minutes late, So I am trying. I hate that word. Like, I'm trying to pick up this pen. Well, you're not. You're not picking it up. So it doesn't matter. Try as nothing. I do give myself a little bit of credit, thanks to Maria, because once I go down to that, you know what, Lisa, you're never going to change. You're never going to change. That's where my sister comes in and kind of helps
and
me.
I think for me, the most frustrating thing, I want her to feel the peace that I feel by being organized, okay? And that's the only reason why I harp on you so much, because I want you to experience the feeling, because I do believe that we cause more of our own stress by not being prepared or organized.
I'm driving, thinking, looking in my rearview mirror, where's the car? Anyway, you shouldn't be speeding. You're tense. And that affects other people, whether you believe it or not.
Yes.
I think about that. Like, okay, the other cars are getting a little bit more aggressive. Or is it just my my perception. But you do respond and act out of your perception. And the whole time I'm driving, am I excited about meeting with my sister and doing the activity that we were going to do, or go shopping or spending lunch? No. Half an hour of self beating up, going, and then thinking of all the excuses. Well, I got to tell her this and I got to tell her that. And so I'm concentrating on the issues that I had to go through again, being late. And so when I show up, I'm not in the present moment. I show up in the energy, and she's thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I have a little gift for Lisa. And I'm like, I cannot believe it. And then I spend our time rehashing back to the trigger tracker. Whether you're dealing with the relationship with your sister or you're keeping yourself on task, identifying the things that do trigger you, that do keep you in that negative loop.
She gets to continue with the trigger tracker, because if you wrote out on your trigger tracker what triggers you, it would be the same thing over and over and over again. So it is time to put it to bed.
Right. And so this is a good point too. It's like, well, no, I couldn't help it because the garbage guy was blocking me and I had to wait a few minutes, or I couldn't find my shoes. You didn't plan for it. Like learning a lesson. This time I'm a little earlier, and then I get to feel proud of myself. Little wins. Keep you going. Yeah.
Little wins. This question is kind of cool because we were just talking about the little wins. And this question is, what are effective ways to celebrate progress in our relationship?
I learned a lot of things with my German Shepherd. So trying to potty train a German Shepherd, one thing I had.
Shepherd?
Do you want me to do the under the chin thing, Maria?
No boops. No, we haven't had boops in a long time.
We haven't had boops, but I'm thinking maybe it's time. So anyway, when I was training my German Shepherds, it's like mom used to go, oh, rub their nose in their poo-poo. Well, that's not it. Because they're like, what? So getting on their level or getting on your level, you get to bring up things that you can relate to. So my dog trainer goes, you know what? We'll stop that. Is you put their food right on the place where they did pee-pee or their poo-poo.
Really?
Yeah, you do that because they don't want to eat where they defecate. So that was a huge thing, and it worked like magic. After you pick it up, you don't set their bowl in the poop. Pick up their bowl and move it, and I'd go, nope, it goes right here. And you get to go potty outside if you want to eat on a clean surface.
Oh, that's good. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. And or kids, instead of, you always do this wrong. You know what? You did a great job. Hey, next time, what do you think if we tried it this way?
Because there's so much negativity in a day, 1,400, 14,000 or whatever, that most of our kids hear negative.
1 out of 10 or whatever. You have to give yourself more praise and compliments to overcome that one negative thing, especially when it's a deep-rooted issue.
Instead of beating myself up, I go, well, you know what? But I did get this, this, and this. And tomorrow's a new day, and I'm going to tackle those other things.
And put too much on my plate.
I always like giving, and you like giving.
Yes.
And she made me, for a little win, she made me this beautiful colored, it's got purple and pink and all the pretty colors that I love. And it says princess on it. Another thing that we've done is I'm wearing it now, is a charm bracelet. And every time that we have little wins or we feel, extremely grateful and positive, we get a little charm.
So it's a symbolic of like, wow, we overcame this. Look at, so we get to be
but you
happy
don't
about
necessarily
that.
have to get charm bracelets. Right. I mean, you can think of your own and be, creative and let us know what you're doing. We also have our vision board, vision boards that we have done together.
And we get to add to it. And even when I give you that bouquet of flowers, I had little butterflies, and I wrote on each little butterfly and stuck it in the bouquet of flowers. Like, you're so awesome. You are so generous. You love to give. And because a lot of people, we don't have just, not all of us can go out and spend a lot of money on a charm bracelet.
No. We make a lot of our own stuff. We make a lot of our own stuff. And it's so cool because I do find if I'm having an off day or a down day, which is, everybody does, I pull out what she's given me in these little notes that
Yes,
she's
yeah.
given me in these little tiny bottles, and I'll just pick out and read it. And it's so amazing how it will just turn the whole day.
So you
Something
cry
like that.
too?
I do.
Not as much
I've
as
been
me.
crying more.
Have you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Without me punching you?
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
So why do you think that is?
I just think emotions are heightened, and it's not bad cry, it's happy cry too. I'm just
Yes.
feeling a lot of emotions and
Yeah.
grateful and joyful and happy lately and energized and excited, and yeah.
Another thing that we've had questions on is like, well, how do you overcome, especially when you're first starting out, going through the program with your sister, how do we address multiple issues? Because sometimes one thing triggers the next thing, and then it's like, yeah, we have these same 3 things that we can't get over. So Sharon had asked, how do we address, and when do you address multiple issues without becoming overwhelmed by it? Because sometimes you're just bombarded with all these emotions and then you never get to the root cause. For me, what helps is that I look at what needs to be addressed right now in order to continue the day and enjoy time with my sister, or to put myself into a positive, healthy emotional state. We address little issues like, so we can kind of move on. And then we take our journal and write down like, well, and this little thing and this little thing. Maybe it's not a big deal and you feel like, well, I want to address this big issue. Mm-hmm. And these other 2 things, well, forget it. You can't forget it because it's going to come up again when you're triggered with something else. Take notes on a daily basis on your trigger tracker, your journal.
I look at it like it's a season of our favorite series. Each issue is an episode. And then we get to say, okay, did we like that episode? And do we want to continue with the series and go to the finale? Or do
so
we
you're
just
thinking about a
cut?
reality show.
Right.
She does.
Yeah.
You do like to fast forward, but that's the meat and potatoes of it. You got to kind of know the background.
Right. So, but we're going through each episode.
Unless it's King and Queens.
Right.
We could rewatch every single
my
King and Queens because every episode is hilarious.
Right. So then it's like a rerun.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
do we want to keep rerunning over the same thing, or does the series need to stop? Does the episode we're done? Okay. There's no season 2 going on here.
So Terry's question, Maria, is, okay, all of this is great. Trigger tracker, I'm journaling, we're meeting once a week, we're talking it out, we're getting to, what's important, what means a lot to you versus me. I think that the number one thing too, during intense discussions, there's usually, and you can let me know if there was an example that you can think of right now, because we're just so close. One person that's a little bit more heated, maybe it's a little bit more sensitive. Somebody's got to have the big girl pants on, okay?
And that big girl is me. And we came up with safe words.
Wait. Back up.
No. I did.
Sometimes.
I came up with the safe words. And you actually liked it. Our safe word is tango. Because it takes 2 to tango. So whenever we're in a heated discussion, like just out of nowhere, I'll say tango.
But okay.
And then I'll be like.
So before that, and it brings me back to my point, is I'm the one that's more like agitated, and Maria can kind of look at the whole scene, and then she's the stronger one because she's not heightened, she's not emotionally as charged as I am. So she gets to put on her big girl pants and bring me back to reality. Because when you're angry, like, have you ever seen Red?
Right.
Like
So
Red
when I say tango and then I start to do this, she can't help, but laugh. And it's not because I said tango, it's because I can't dance. It works every time. It works every time.
Yeah, it does. Time out, tango, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then I get to go, wow, okay.
Okay.
You're less intense. So
and then it's like,
not being angry at the same time, maybe a little bit, but there's always one person that can kind of step back and go, okay, this is kind of over the top. Like, really? You're blowing up over this? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, you borrowing my socks again? Like, and it's like, and you're thinking about things from high school, how I never returned that sweater.
Really?
I don't know. That's what I was kind
We
of
share
thinking.
all of our stuff.
I know, but sometimes
I share.
she's just learned recent.
I do share.
She's learned recent
I share
leadership.
everything.
Well, now she does, but
I
Maria,
brought you a few days ago.
How many times did I
share-
scratch your back so I could wear something in school? I scratched your
I
back
think,
for 5 minutes.
I think I need to go back to that.
You were
Share.
supposed to do my homework if I scratched your back for 5
Well,
minutes.
I wasn't that good in school either.
Yes, you were.
So,
Way better than me.
well,
but
that doesn't take much. Sorry. You don't necessarily have to, have some 4-degree or 8-degree certificate in order to be smart. Because I feel like I'm going to boast about her, is very smart, Like, I feel like street smart and experiences almost
common sense.
are just as valuable.
Because I used to work with an attorney, brilliant, valedictorian of her law school class. No common sense. None.
Yeah.
So it made her almost like dingy. You
Right.
know? But
yeah.
she passed the bar, obviously,
Yeah.
and basically to wrap it up. Through everything that you're going through on a daily basis, weekly basis, and you're checking off and you're taking notes and you're congratulating each other and you're working through those other issues.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is when you know, because you've signed a contract with each other, you bring it back into what is our goal? What is our goal? We want the same thing. It's not a matter of keeping score
right.
or you're right, I'm
or
wrong.
a checkbox. And
Exactly. It's like, we're moving forward together because this is what we want together as sisters. Not for anything other than improving our relationship and building that bond and building the thing that we have with each other.
And just having harmony, peace, joy, And
that's the goal. We want the same thing.
Yeah, and like you always say, everybody wants to feel loved. And it is so amazing to feel that unconditional love.
When you dissect the underlying issue and we're working on it, is so freeing. It makes a difference because you feel good. You don't even have an issue in the background.
Yeah.
It's so amazing because you feel like you could do anything. I feel like I can do anything because I've got this power, our joint power relationship, instead of always feeling, and you know what, and different personalities too, because do I want to feel like I need somebody?
No.
Do I want to feel like I'm dumb? Do I want to feel like I have to depend on somebody No. But it's cool when you do let that guard down, when you open up yourself to be vulnerable. There's something magical. And I think
because
that's
it's not only just magical for her, but the feeling that I get that she's allowing me in, or opening up that door, is
especially as the younger
such a
sister.
Gift,
yeah,
and amazing.
When you offer me something, and until I felt like, oh, this is really for her too, more than she's helping me do something or overcome something, that I would be robbing you of the gift of helping me. So that was an aha moment for me too when you brought that up. Yeah. You don't give me the opportunity, Lisa, to step up. You don't give me I could go, I have to deal with all of this because I'm the strong one, and I've got so much pressure, and you're like, because you don't give me anything, because you choose to take that on instead of working together with me as a sister at equal value. And that's something we're still working on.
Yeah.
The hierarchy.
Thank you so much for being here with us, and we just enjoy hearing your feedback, your comments, your questions. And again, weekly we're going to be doing Q&As and staying involved with you, because it's not just about us and our sister bond. It's all of our sisters in Christ, our sisters in friends, our sisters by blood, women in general. We just want to be there for you, to uplift you and empower you.
And when we do talk about our issues, it's only to give you examples of what has helped us. But the feedback and the questions, just to maybe we didn't explain it correctly, or maybe there are some things that we could go a little deeper. So these questions just from you as you're going through the program really does help us kind of fine tune. So we love it. So keep them coming.
Yeah. Thank you. And we hope you guys have an amazing day,
Yay.
amazing week.
Love your sister.
Love your sister.
Dance. Well, I'll dance. You can just act cute like you do in the background.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.